Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Sylvia Holmes. Please give me a thumbs up so I know that my audio is coming through clearly. Kind of good? All right. We are here for, let me get into my cause numbers. Tow hearing this afternoon. And Rashay, what is our cause number?
Sorry about that, Judge. I'm having some glitches over here. So today we have cause J3 CV 25000194.
Okay.
Kimberly Snyder White versus Francisco Garcia, and Director of Operations and Wayside Academy.
All right. Who is our plaintiff? Who's Kim White?
I am.
Good morning. Good afternoon. All right. And who I have on behalf of first Garcia for Wayside Academy? Someone here on behalf of Wayside Academy?
Yes, me, Maritza Gladden, the Director of Operations of Wayside Schools.
Good afternoon. And we
Good
have
afternoon.
Mr. Montoya, are you here with the tow operator? Okay. All right, then. Let me go ahead and ask for everyone who's going to be offering testimony, and that, Ms. Gladden, that's you as well. You all raise your right hand. I'd like to swear at all the parties. All right. Do each of you understand that by appearing in court today and offering testimony, you are swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under a penalty of perjury? Do you so swear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then. Ms. White, tell me what happened. Why do you believe just tell me what happened. I don't know that your car was towed, but what went on?
So, to make a long story short, we were going to eat at the Applebee's off of I-35, and I was driving the car. I turned in accidentally too soon, and it turned out to be the Wayside School parking lot, which was mostly empty at the time, but there was not like any kind of barricade across the entrance or anything like that. Anyway, I thought there would be a curb cut through to the Applebee's, but there wasn't. And then when we got to that side of the parking lot, it was only a short walk to the front of the Applebee's. So we just thought, well, might as well just park here. And I think there might have been one or two other cars parked there as well. You know, in retrospect, I should have driven around and gone into the actual Applebee's parking lot. When we came out of the Applebee's, my car was missing. And my first thought was someone stole my car. But then my husband said, sort of unhelpfully, no one would steal your car because it's kind of a junker. And
actually, that may be more likely to be stolen now because the new technology is a deterrent. But go ahead, Ms. White. That's funny.
Well, so at any rate, he had the idea that, you know, maybe it was towed and to look for a towing sign somewhere. And we did. And we, you know, after hunting around for 5 minutes or so, we found this towing sign by the front entrance. And I attached this to my application. But as you can see, I also included a picture that had a red arrow to the sign because it's really very hard to see that sign unless you already know it's there, which I didn't. And so then we called the tow place. They had our car. We Ubered to the tow place, and then Joe paid the money, the fine, which I think is attached to the towing thingy, is attached there for the amount that we paid, which was $246.19. And then we got our car back after we paid the money and drove home.
All right. What is the reason you believe your car was improperly towed?
The main reason is because just that I would never have parked in a lot that, you know, because I try to be an upstanding citizen and I wouldn't have parked there if I had known it was a towaway zone. But I literally could not, unless you know that sign is there, you can't see it. It's not conspicuous in any way. And so that's why I feel it's not just.
But you knew you were not parking at Applebee's. you knew that you were parking at the Wayside Academy because of the curb cut.
Yes, that's true. I knew I was not parking the Applebee's parking lot, but because there was like, I didn't know it was the Wayside School at first, to be honest. I just thought it was some abandoned retail area. But it didn't, like, I wasn't certainly hogging a spot from somebody else who needed to
I get
park
that.
there.
The law is clear though. If it's private land, you can't park on it if they give you right notice. So what I'm hearing is that you realized you weren't actually where you wanted to be. You wanted to be at Applebee's, but you were close and you right, hell with it. It's right there. I'll just park and walk across the curb. For
Right.
convenience, if there was no one there, you'd have to fight for parking. So it was easier to park there. The question is, did you have some type of notice? So you went and you looked because your husband said maybe it got towed and you went, you didn't find a towing sign?
We
Is
did
the tow
that
sign-
later when we came out. Oh,
Is
sorry.
the tow sign you found at the entrance where you entered? Because you said, I quote, I was going to Applebee's on I-35 and I turned too soon into what turned out to be the Wayside lot. So when you turned in there, did you go back and look at that entrance? Because that's the one that matters to me.
Yes, that's where the picture is from.
Okay.
Where you can see the Wayside sign is clearly lit up, but the towing sign is in the darkness.
But there is a tow sign there.
There is a tow sign there, but
Right.
it's, you
Have you
can't see
checked
it.
to see, have you looked to compare the requirements for a towing signage with the sign that was present? Is there anything you found that is improper?
Yes, I looked at the 4th edition administrative desk book, and it says, when is a sign compliant?
Yep.
For a sign to be compliant, it must be visible and conspicuous at each entrance, have a bottom edge greater than 5, less than 8 feet off the ground, and yada, yada.
What parts of that do you believe the sign is not compliant with?
It was not visible,
Is that just because there's no light on it?
no light on it. So unless you knew it was there, and we eventually were able to like shine our flashlight on there and see it,
Yeah.
but
I don't think that's going to count, Miss White, because the Wayside sign tells you that you're entering a lot that is not where you're trying to get to. And you had no business at Wayside. You weren't there during normal business hours. You weren't even trying to get to Wayside, right? You were trying to get to Applebee's, but you went in the wrong lot.
Yeah, one, if I may interject, is that, you know, the physical layout of the property looks like a development, you know, a large commercial development, and it's very common for out parcels like restaurants to have cross easements for access and parking.
Totally get that, but it wasn't there, right? I understand what you're saying is you thought it would connect. I've had that happen too. It strikes me insane that the Payless in front of Walmart doesn't connect to the rest of Sunset Valley. You have to literally come out and go down the stupid access road. I get it. The point though, is that for it to be an illegal tow, when you entered the lot, as long as there's a sign that otherwise complies that would have notified you of it, that would be sufficient. And here, even if the sign wasn't there, you weren't actually at the right spot. You were already at a place you knew was not correct, that was barricaded from the spot you were trying to get to. You just didn't drive around to go to Applebee's. You parked there because it was easier and convenient. That's a reasonable thing to do. I get it. You're not a bad person. I might have done the same thing. The question is, to make it improper, the signage that gave you a warning, an ordinary person should have been able to see it. What I'm hearing is that you're saying it was hidden in the dark, but that is the only part that was non-compliant, was that it was not lit up.
right,
So that's your part about visibility.
yes,
All right, let's take a look at the sign then. That's a picture and you sent that in here.
yes.
Let's look and see. I got it, y'all. I hate when it doesn't connect. I absolutely hate that. I'm trying to think about where the Applebee's on I-35 is.
It's just north of Wayside School parking lot.
So if you're at William Cannon and 35, there's a McDonald's, the 7-Eleven, and then a big.
Oh, okay. I was thinking down
Right
at
next-
Park Meadows.
It's
or
right
something.
next to DPS. They share the lot with DPS, but DPS is further to the right side of it.
All right, I'm going to share my screen, Miss White. Let's look together. Okay. All right, can you see the picture?
No. Oh,
Yes.
now I can. Yes.
Okay, it takes a minute. It takes a minute for it to move over. Okay, so I have two pictures. I have this one with an arrow, and then I have this one without it. Is this the exact same photo?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
With the exception of the time and the arrow, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. When did you take this photo, Miss White? Or did you take this photo? That's my first question.
I did take the photo, and I actually went back the next night because the photos that I had taken the first night I didn't think were were, it was the same exact time of day though. And so I went back the next night because I wanted a better photo than the one that I had gotten the first night we were there.
Okay. So is this building back here with the shutters on it? Is that the Applebee's?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. So you turned in here and this is the way you entered?
Yes.
And then you turned this way to the left, assuming that it would connect, and it didn't. That curb cut back there prevents you from going forward.
Right.
And so you just parked here and walked over and went and had dinner?
Yes.
All right. Is this the tow sign?
No, that's not a tow sign.
It's this one right here.
Yes.
What I would say, Ms. White, is that that sign otherwise complies. There is no duty in Texas for the sign to be lit. And I would probably hear an argument successfully that when you came in, your headlights would have lit it up. But you might have been distracted because you were looking this way at the Applebee's.
Well, yeah, and
Get right
my
past it.
headlights would have been facing toward the wayside sign, not toward that sign that's on the right.
You would have turned in and been right here, and that sign would have been to your passenger side as you drove past it. And that would be compliant with Texas law. There's nothing hiding it. It's not behind a bush. Law does not require that it be lit up. As long as it is posted there at a spot where you would ordinarily look to see, can I park here? It does do that. I understand. Nothing about that says you're a bad person. It's you missed a sign, but it is there. It is a private lot. They have the right to tow it. I know that's frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Well, you absolutely can appeal. You have 10 days to appeal my decision, and maybe look into if you find anything I don't have right now, Ms. White. I'm not aware of any law in Texas or any case by a judge that said a tow sign has to be illuminated in the evening. That would be the question of you, if you were interested in appealing your case, since that is the part where you said you believe that it's improper, that it's not visible, right? Because you said otherwise you said this is fine. So if the part is about visibility, then information, if you wanted to appeal, that piece of information is something that would be important for another court or a judge to hear. If you find evidence or laws or cases that say it must be illuminated, that would be very helpful. But I don't know of any of those off the top. I'm not aware of any. And the center and the guidebooks that you and I have the same one says it needs to be visible. And for what standard visibility is under Texas law, that complies. Because it's not otherwise obstructed or hidden. It is right at the entrance as you come in.
Well,
Okay. Was the meal
Thank
at
you for
least
your
good?
time.
I'm sorry?
Was the meal at least good?
Not great.
Yeah, that's probably not even the horrible way to come out. Ms. White, I thank you for coming. I know it's disappointing. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
But I do want to say nothing you did is you're not a bad person. You got towed, right? This happens. And an understandable situation here. Be real careful though. We did quite a few of these, and
It did
You
make
have
me
to
feel like a
appeal, though.
criminal, that's for sure.
you're not a criminal. You're not. This is a civil matter, 100%. It's a tow. 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 I get a lot. I get them all the time from this one spot on man check. But you both have the right to appeal. Again, you have 10 days. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'll just say, but for me, as the judge that heard it today, the thing that I would have needed was some information that said they have to illuminate it. But as it's written, it just has to be visible, and that otherwise qualifies. Okay.
All right.
I really applaud y'all coming. I like that. And her car is fine. Don't you ever say her car's a junker. If nothing else, you got the judge to back you up on that. Okay. So
All right.
nice to her.
Duly
All right. Good
admonished.
luck to you both. Good luck to everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All parties are excused.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.